Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gooner Gathering. My name is Posh Bertie, the poshest man in all of sports entertainment. And joining me, as ever, is Eddie Nketiah's #1 fan, Gooner Gathering's founding father, Gooner Lee Meads, Mr. Meadows. Apart from your ankle or your foot, whatever's causing you problems, how are you?
I'm living and breathing, everybody. I'm all right. Don't worry, I'm all good. We are 2 weeks plus down to the road of Lee stacking it on an e-scooter, and being absolutely honest with you, I've been in a lot of pain over the last couple of weeks, but I'm here, and we are here to discuss the Brentford game for tomorrow. We are going to talk a little bit on transfer issues. I would imagine there's one story in particular that I can think of, and who knows where this discussion will lead to, because Bertie's in charge.
Absolutely, and I'm dreading that myself as well. And I would like to add, the reason why he broke his foot on an e-scooter was because he had to go and do a video with me. So I'm the one who's responsible for him breaking all the bones in his feet.
It's
so
not quite,
yeah.
but not as quite as dramatic as you said. But
Okay.
it's all good. It's all
As long as I don't get a suing letter, then it's all good. But yeah, okay. So after 2 weeks of a week, I should say, of international break, we are back to Premier League football.
Thank God.
Until March. Although, if you support some clubs, you might wish the international break was longer. But we'll see what happens then.
Yeah.
But as an Arsenal fan, I'm looking forward to our return. It is quite nice to have a week to not rant about something for a change.
At least for 5 minutes, anyway.
But look, we're back,
Until
and we are away to Brentford, a fixture that we've already done in the Carabao Cup. Of course, it was a 1-0 victory, but this time it's in the Premier League. We're also again at Brentford Stadium, so it is a kind of fixture repeat.
Tricky game.
So, Mr. Meadows, how do you feel going into the game? We've got some key players returning, perhaps. How do you see this going down?
I will always say any Premier League game that you go into, particularly after an international break, is always going to be very, very difficult. We have a few issues our end as well. And let's go into it, shall we? Let's go in with the obvious. David Raya is obviously not able to play against his parent club. So for me, what made the timing of the whole interview with Mr. Ramsdale Senior's on the Highbury squad a little bit odd for me, because we all knew that this game was coming up. And honestly, I don't think it's probably helped Aaron out in the slightest, frankly. That's just my opinion. I would imagine Aaron himself would be absolutely looking forward to it, because I'm sure he'd be wanting to put the shirt on again and getting out there. And it's pretty much confirmed from Mikel Arteta earlier on today in the press conference that he's going to play. I mean, it would be an extraordinary decision not to play, an England goalkeeper, England international. Once I think it's pretty clear to say that our #1 is David Raya. We'll get more into David Raya, I think, in a little while. I think it'd be quite extraordinary not to play Aaron. I think it will cause probably more controversy than even necessary, frankly. Especially being that Karl-Heinz has he's got potential, but he's not exactly got a lot of first-team fixtures on his belt, has he? So that's my feeling on that one. What do you think? Do you think Ramsdale should play, or would you throw the dice a little bit?
Will I throw the dice at the ketchup bottle? No, I think I'll play Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Yes, I know he made comments of, I can't concentrate for 90 minutes. And when you got strikers like Mbuemo and Visser, who is going to cause problems on the up front. They'll look to exploit a goalkeeper that can't concentrate for 90 minutes, probably. But I think, hopefully, if Ramsdale doesn't give the ball away to the opposition when he passes the ball forward, I think hopefully he'll have a good game, because he can do it. He can have really good games, and he can perform miraculous saves. We've seen it a lot.
He's a good goalkeeper.
He'll have one of those good games. Although, hopefully,
Good
he'll have to have a
game.
quiet...
Good
he'll have
game.
Thank you, Brucey. Hopefully, he'll have a quiet day in goal, though, because, it'd be nice to keep Brentford quiet.
Absolutely. Do you know what? Tactically, you made an excellent point. You might not even realise that, just what you just did there.
I think I know what you're referring to.
You mentioned the two Brentford strikers. It's very rare in Premier League at the moment you go against a pair of strikers. It's going to be very difficult to keep these boys quiet. Obviously, look, Saliba, I've got no issues with on this game. My worry a little bit is the Brazil lads, and it's not just Gabriel Magalhaes. My worry also is Martinelli and Jesus. I want to get on to probably both of them a little bit separate in a little while. My worry, of course, is time difference. Obviously, they had a big game against Argentina. And, when you've got a very physical side and you've got the two physical centre forwards up there, normally I'd be playing Gabriel. Of course I would. I kind of think he might not play him. I think he might play Kivior. I
can't see that, I don't think. There's no injury problems with Gabriel Magalhaes. So,
no, there's not. No, there's not.
I'd expect him to play with Saliba, because they're a good pairing. A good pairing of defence to hopefully deal with a good forward pair.
They're an outstanding pair. Don't get me wrong. And normally in a situation like this, in a tricky away game as well, I'd be going for the pair of them. I'm just thinking in terms of like managing minutes and managing people's game time as well. I just got this gut feeling that he's going to play Kivior and Saliba tomorrow. And just looking a tiny bit further forward, I think he's going to play Kivior and Gabriel in the Champions League.
We are 1 point away from qualification, and we did have a Champions League game. Hello, AFC Always. Great to see you as always.
Welcome,
in
sir.
The chat. As always, no pun intended, of course. There, but I think, you might. I think you might be onto something, because we do need to qualify for the Champions League. We're 1 point away from qualification for the round of 16. But I think Saliba and Gabriel might start both games. I think, mind you, in the Carabao Cup, Kivior did have a decent game. I think he cleared a vital clearance off the line, if I remember. And I've got no problems with Kivior. Like, I know he might not be the first choice for the first team, but he's not done anything this season, as far as I'm aware, that I've been, irked about or anything. So, but I don't know. When you've got two physical, pacey forwards, I think you need to get your two good defenders in there. I can't see Gabriel being dropped for that game. This isn't against Fulham, for goodness sake.
No, and no disrespect to Fulham or anyone. And
it's what happened in August. You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. It's also sort of thinking about play, like it's something that Arteta has done a little bit already. He's sort of managed. Bear in mind, we've got the Gabriel Magalhaes situation of the time zones. We've also got the Saliba treading a little bit carefully, and you've made this point numerous times on our channel, sir.
Yeah,
it's a one William Saliba injury away from complete crisis.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I'm thinking there may
because
be a
Timber and
little
Partey are both
rotation.
injured as well.
Precisely. But we will say, just AFC always. We met right at the start. Ray is not allowed to play. Can we see Ramsdale playing? Because he can't. Well, I actually can, and I think he will, because Mikel Arteta said so in the press conference today.
He also said that Saka would play against Man City, though, didn't he? Oh, Mikel.
Yeah, you know what? You might be onto something, mate. You might be onto something.
I can't see Karl Heinz starting against Brentford, though. I'll be surprised if he does.
Yeah. If I was the manager, and you know it's not like me to be controversial at all, Poch. You know this, right?
Absolutely, Eddie Nketiah's #1 fan, Lee Meadows. You're not controversial at all.
No, I'll get into that in a bit. But if it were me, I'd be thinking a bit like AFC always, actually, because in the face of it, you can't be doing an interview saying you're a goalkeeper and you can't concentrate. You can't have your dad saying, we signed a contract and he's not playing him anymore.
Well, that's his dad's problem.
Yeah, but it's a broader thing, right? And then you've got Mikel Arteta's going to just play him after a little bit of a hissy fit. It doesn't quite sit well with me, but then again, it is also playing Ramsdale, who has played first team games and is an England international, versus Karl Heinz, who's also an international as well. I'm very aware of that, everybody. Believe he's Estonian, I think.
Time for a bit of Googling, I think.
Oh,
but yeah, carry on your point.
Yeah. So, but
yeah, you're Aaron, right. You're correct.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! He actually believes me as well. I'm right. How about that? So, in terms of Premier League minutes and games, Aaron obviously is far and above anything that we had. And yeah, I agree with the AFC always. You can't have a #1 goalkeeper that can't concentrate for 90 minutes. I understand that. Maybe it's an unfortunate wording from Mr. Ramsdale. Perhaps that's the situation on that. I kind of get what he means. It's just not, come across very well.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah. Wrong choice of words and everything.
So we basically covered the goalkeeping situation. I've given my views on the sort of centre half pairing that I think we'd probably go for. We know that there are a couple of other injury doubts. Ben White is one of them. He, of course, missed the last time out, didn't he?
Yeah. I thought that came out of nowhere, like an RKO, from out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Against Burnley. And I thought, my first reaction was, oh, brilliant, another injury. Isn't that great? But you can't go wrong with Tomiyasu, can't you? Because he has been bossing it.
Been great, Tommy.
For us.
You could say rock on, Tommy. For the older audience, you'll understand what I mean there.
He's not two-game Tommy anymore. He's terrific Tommy, I think.
Terrific Tommy. If Stephen is watching, he'll be laughing his bottom off on that one. Emerson Kazier's in there. Hello, mate. Good evening and welcome. And I can see there's a fair audience in here as well, guys. So if you could all help us out a little bit, it's just a simple press of a button, just a simple free like on the stream. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that button. We are 4 away on my last viewing of 250 subscribers, which is sensational. And we appreciate absolutely every single one of you that are watching us right now.
Absolutely. If we can get to 250 before Arsenal Brentford kicks off tomorrow, that would be phenomenal. We can do that.
Let's go.
AFC always says, if Arteta doesn't pick Ramsdale tomorrow, do you think he'll be sold in January? For me, I really do think Ramsdale will be sold in January. If Arteta picks Karl Heinz over Ramsdale, then that's the final nail in the coffin, in my opinion, for Ramsdale's time at Arsenal. I I originally said I couldn't see him being sold in January. It's more likely to go in the summer. But if he plays Karl Hein ahead of him against Brentford in a tough a tough fixture where you do need an experienced goalkeeper, then I think that's it for Ramsdale if he's on the bench again against Brentford. When you're undisputed number one goalkeeper, as you like to call David Raya, when he's not available, there's a vacancy there, and that should belong to Ramsdale. But if he doesn't get in goal, then I think, final nail in the coffin, I think, for his time at Arsenal, which is a shame, really, if that happens, because he has given us some memories. Hello, Stacey. Good to see you.
She's late. Do you know why she's late? There she is.
I think she's explained it here.
Oh,
brilliant. You're one of those people. You're one of those people that put your Christmas tree up in November. I thought better of you, Stacey.
I can't believe she's put it up before my birthday.
Maybe, well, yeah, yes, your 25th birthday's coming up, isn't it?
I'm feeling every bit of it.
Good to see you.
Oh, wait, the lads.
Who've Newcastle got this week?
Terrific question. I have no idea.
You're at home to Chelsea. So,
Interesting.
That might be interesting. Chelsea have gone back into form and everything. And Newcastle, injury, they're in a bit of an injury crisis. So who knows what may happen.
There's a few injuries about, to be fair. If you're looking like for the early kickoff tomorrow, if you look at the City injury list at the moment, it's quite extensive. All our friends over at Liverpool, and particularly to Uncle Rog, I want to just bring him up just very, very quickly, because I had an absolute blast in the guest seat.
I watched it.
It was brilliant. I had so much fun over there. If you haven't, what I'll do, I will put the link to Uncle Roger's channel in the description in post-production later on. I was kindly invited over to do a live stream a couple of days ago, and it was fantastic. It was just a general chat. Funny enough, we kept to our gimmick, Posh. We spoke about half an hour on wrestling. It was great.
That's why I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought you would. So
Stacey says first year on my own, living on your own. I take it.
She's just moved, mate. That's what it is. She's just got a lovely little place on her own. I'm super proud of her, and I'll speak to her later on. I'm pretty sure, because she's just messaged me privately above my head. So I'll get onto that later on.
Through these messages in the chat, we usually on 3rd of December. Your dad's birthday. Oh, Lee Meadows is your dad. I didn't know that.
No.
When is your birthday, actually?
First.
Oh, the
the Advent calendar, ladies and gentlemen, was all invented, right, to celebrate the birth of one Gunnar Lee Meads.
That is true. That is true. It's damn true. AFC always says, off topic, what are your thoughts on Randy Orton being back for the Survivor Series? I think that's wonderful. He had a hell of an injury in 2022, 2021.
He's been
around
out
that
for 18 months, sir. And it absolutely terrifies the life out of me to see him coming back in the ring, particularly after what Cowboy Bob has said on interviews going out. Look, in the Survivor Series, I'll keep this kind of brief, because it's a tag match. You can kind of protect him a little bit. I hope he'll hit a couple of the old the signatures, the DDT off the rope, the RKO, and all that sort of thing. That's all I really want to see of Randy. I want him to be really careful and really safe, because the guy doesn't need to come back in the ring. Honestly, I think he'd be fantastic behind the scenes. Honestly,
as like a road agent or a producer or whatever.
I think he's got such a great brain for the business that he would be a fantastic producer. That's what I want to see of Randy. And I probably want to see him in the Hall of Fame next year. That's just my thoughts.
Absolutely. And if you want good wrestling content, check out Wrestle Dogs by Sam Wilson, of course, a member of our channel. He'll be there. and I hopefully will be on the channel soon at some point.
That's what we've been promised.
Actually, we'll do this. BX Gunner says Survivor Series was peak 87 to 91. Yes, the Hulk Hogan era, brother. Let's just move it off. This is a
92's good as well. Because I think, isn't there an early Brett versus Shawn at 92 before all the controversy that happened in 97? I think there's a really good match to watch in there. It's either 92 or 93, I think. Check it out. It's a really good match before all the controversy all happened. Let's bring it back to the football, Posh, if you don't mind.
Yeah. AFC always says David O'Leary should be the director of Arsenal Football Club. He was a manager a long time ago. He was Leeds manager during their glory days of
absolutely their Champions League
finances.
Also, of course, the record appearance holder for the Arsenal. This guy, David O'Leary, the Republic of Ireland international, was absolutely astonishing as a ball-playing centre-half, almost like the Rio Ferdinand of his generation, before that even became a thing. And being involved in the 79 Cup finals, one of the earliest games that I can remember almost 90 odd minutes of. Not that I was around then, but because I've watched the video of it. All the way through to, we spoke about this, going through to the winning cups in 92. Still being involved in the squad at that time. Incredible guy. There you go. There's the facts and figures. 733 appearances. Sensational. I do believe he's sort of loosely connected with Arsenal without having any sort of contract sort of thing. Obviously, he's always going to have his part in history with Arsenal, and that's always going to be there. But yeah, it's one of those sort of after his Leeds adventure, and when of course all their financial thing went to pot, and all of a sudden they were sort of thrown back into the doldrums of the Championship and all that.
Nothing
sort of
to do with him though. He has to do
not
with
at all, not at all. But it is one of them. It was never really seen behind a manager's desk too much before afterwards. I don't think. Just in my mind, I can't picture him anywhere else. Yeah, that's a good comparison. That Saliba reminds me of
Jez
David
Collins not compared him, but he said he reminded him of Tony Adams.
Perhaps the Tony Adams of Arsene Wenger fame, perhaps. Not the Tony
Adams.
A
leading defender, that kind of thing. That defender who people don't want to play against. I think that's what he meant.
Yeah, physically, Tony, especially early Tony, when he as a defender, purely as a defender, physically was fantastic. David O'Leary had all of that and all the bells and whistles on it as well, in terms of all the ability that he had as well, the reading of the game as well. You see, beyond his years was O'Leary, and yeah. Oh, excellent. I'd never thought we'd be talking about David O'Leary tonight, guys.
Well, there we are. We're gonna just get back on topic now to talk about the Brentford game. So we talked about Jesus and Gabriel Magalhaes, the two Gabriels for Brazil. There's three of them with Martinelli as well. But also there is rumour and innuendo of Martin Odegaard coming back, which I think is encouraging. Oh, I read his mind. Excellent.
You did. Fantastic work, Posh. That's a great boost in itself, isn't it? Because having the captain back will make a difference, and keep our momentum going. I think that's what we're after. We're after a big performance. If he goes straight into the first team, I think he'll go straight in. I think he'll play tomorrow, providing he's all clear with the concussion protocol. There was lots of rumour and innuendo, as you said, about the concussion thing. I think that was confirmed. I've certainly seen him on the training field. I've certainly seen pictures of him out there. So, I mean, that's a big boost. Especially bear in mind, there's one midfielder that is confirmed out. Of course, that would be Vieira after his red card in the previous one.
He is suspended for 3 games, I believe.
That's correct, which makes me think that Fabio will play in the midweek.
You should think so, yeah. of course, we do have a Champions League game in midweek against Lens.
Lens,
If we draw that, we're through, I believe, to the round of 16. But we should be winning that at home. Yes, they beat us away from home, but at the Emirates, we should be picking up all 3 points there.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But focus has to be at Brentford first.
Yeah, absolutely. After a week's break, get back to winning ways. It will be a tough place to go. We've done it before. We beat them 3-0 last season. Fabio Vieira, as we mentioned, scored a thunderbolt.
It's in our very last Cannon Chatter game.
Absolutely.
Makes me smile every time I think of it. Just
so
fun memories, guys. That's what it is.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll be smiling after the game tomorrow as well. Hopefully we'll pick up all 3 points. Is there anything else about the Brentford game you want to chat about?
Yeah, of course. I want to talk about another Gabriel, and that's our Lord and Saviour Jesus.
Okay.
I'll ask the question here. How responsible was it of the Brazilian manager to play 90 minutes with Gabriel Jesus after missing about a month's worth of club football?
He got no injuries. He seems to be fine. Thank God for that.
Well, it appears that he's come back, no worries. That was according to Arteta's facial expressions and how he spoke in the press conference. I bet you he was absolutely seething. I bet he was furious, and I would be had my number 9 been missing in action for such a long period of time, and then just to be chucked into an international match against Argentina of all places, just as AFC always says here in the chat, I wouldn't rush Jesus back. I wouldn't even play him tomorrow, to be honest with you.
No, I'd probably put him on the bench, and instead, our front 3 would be Saka, Martinelli, and one of our greatest number 9s, the one, the only, Leandro Trossard, up front. He did very well against Burnley. He scored against Sevilla. Yes, I know people say he's a better impact player on coming off the bench. However, the last 2 games he played, he scored when he started. So
he's been fantastic, Posh.
I reckon I would start Trossard up front. My boy, as you say.
Absolutely agree with you. You're going to be shocked to know. And you're right, because Trossard has been wanting to get games for ages, and he's not done anything wrong to be warranted to get dropped at this stage. No way. So yeah, I'm playing Trossard. He's remaining in fantastic form for Belgium as well over the international break. As much as I was going to do my bit for the Nketiah thing there, you're absolutely right. With the maybe if there is a change, perhaps it might be Martinelli out. Perhaps. Probably, only because of the same reason that I said earlier on, right? With the time, but it's all about managing minutes, and it's something I think. Actually, do you know what? This is a really good time to plug it as well. It's something that Fran Golozzo made a really excellent point with on her pre-record video that she put out a couple of days ago. If you hadn't seen that, check out Golozzo on YouTube and her website as well. It's brilliant with her merch and everything. I
need to buy a hoodie off her. I keep forgetting.
You still haven't done a hoodie? Come on, mate.
I will do it.
I believe she's taken some of the price down as well, so it's a good time to get it.
Oh, excellent.
That's absolutely. A great time. So what I'm going to say is that something that Fran spoke about at on her video, it was that Mikel has been more willing to rotate players a little bit more this season. That's kind of what I was talking about a little while ago when I was talking about the centre halves. Kind of what I'm talking about here in the forward line, and that's the concern. If Jesus plays too many games after pulling a hamstring, he's probably going to go again, isn't it? It's like the
typical.
ticking time bomb, which is Saka, as we've spoken about, and always wanting him to have a bit of a break, but I don't know. Well, he keeps on coming back. He's like a Duracell battery. He keeps on going and going.
Yes. Did you hear that Timber is out for the whole season and he's unlikely to play for Holland in the Euros tournament?
No.
So I knew that there were going to be updates surrounding Timber, but I didn't know it was him being out for the whole season. I think I came across a news headline that said Arsenal fans hear positive news about Timber.
Yes, that's
so
what
I don't think I've not heard from that, but you might want to tell me who your sources are. AFC always,
and probably a little bit early to be ruling him out of the Euros at this stage. Bear in mind, we are at the back end of November here, and obviously we've got a long way to go here. So we'll see.
He'll be back by March, I reckon.
Well,
time.
we don't know, Posh. We're not medical people, are we?
No.
We're not. Shall I do it? We're not medical Bill, are we, mate?
Yes! Come on! Why won't the rivalries row?
I don't know, mate.
But yeah, I think.
Sorry if we've just thrown you all, by the way. Our wrestling niches.
I think. Yeah, I think. I mean, some people said that Timber will be back by January. I don't think that's. I think that's the very best case scenario. Manny said it on Luca's stream about 45 minutes ago.
Well, of
okay.
course. Can I tell you?
I mean, yeah.
Can I tell you? I'll do this, Posh. I've got this. You're going to get nothing but factual input off Luca AFC, one of the most reliable sources on YouTube. So please make sure you subscribe to Luca AFC. Top bloke. He's a nice fella. Make sure you give him a subscribe.
No, absolutely. Give him a subscribe. Absolutely. And look, I know who Manny is as well. And with greatest respect to him, he's a nice guy. I want to trust people who are in the know, I think. You know what I mean.
Like the medical professionals and the people that are in the club. We don't know. We're not there. I'd love to be there. I'd love to say, look, I've just been to London, Connolly, everybody. I've just spoken to the guys. I know exactly I'm not an in the know. I'm a fan who likes to spread his opinion for what it's worth and to entertain the millions.
And millions of goons.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. We are here to entertain you, and we're here to just have a little chat as fans. That's what we are. If the news about Timber is unlikely to be played, yeah, that sucks because he was brilliant. I had no idea who he was. This is me being absolutely honest with you. I had no idea who he was. I have had look back since I've seen him play a little bit for Ajax now, so I'm a little bit more in. I have a little bit of knowledge with him. What else I will say is that what we saw of him in the Arsenal Red, he was fantastic in pre-season. He was great in the Community Shield. I call it the right name. And it was just it's so unfortunate when someone like that picks up an injury. Don't make me laugh, AFC always. I see your comment. I see it. It's so unfortunate when such a big money signing picks up an injury like in the first sort of game of the Premier League season. It's gutting for him, but he's only going to come back stronger from it. So, we'll see what happens with that. Is there anything else that we need to cover over? Please don't make me laugh about this new Luca business.
Has he been kidnapped? Luca, being positive.
I'm not sure if he's trying to kid himself or his audience, but there you are.
I love his Twitter feed anyway. It just makes me laugh. But yeah, anyway.
I love the
So-
fact. I love the fact he plugs his own videos of Fabrizio Romano's Twitter page.
I
For God's
mean,
sake, mate, come
you
on.
gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose. You know.
I believe that's an old wrestling reference. By any means necessary.
Oh, well, yeah.
Moving on.
Okay, so, is that all from the Brentford game? Because I can't think of anything.
The only other thing I'd ask you, Posh, is how positive are you feeling about this one? Because of course you are well renowned for being a positive Arsenal fan. So would you tell us what do you think's going to happen here?
I wanted to go one episode without talking about him.
I didn't bring it up. It wasn't
no,
me.
I'm talking to AFC always. You know. No. How positive am I about? Look, it's been a week's break, so I'm refreshed.
Yeah.
I'm, ready to go, ready to see club football again because it's been a while, as they say.
It's been a while.
And look, if Man City and Liverpool draw tomorrow against each other, if it's 1-1 or something and we win, we'll go top of the league. I think at least briefly anyway. So that could be a situation where, and hopefully we'll get to that situation. So that we can't slip up in this game really. If we want to challenge for the league, these are games we should be winning, regardless if away to Brentford is a tough place to go or not. Yeah. We need to show our toughness and win the game.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's 1-0, 2-0, any higher than that, whatever you want to say, doesn't matter because at the end of the day, winning at Brentford by any means, by any scoreline, it doesn't matter because it picks up 3 points, which we need to do because we'll need to respond to whatever City and Liverpool do in the early kickoff.
No, absolutely, and look, I know. I'm guilty of it as well. I've been saying we look like we've regressed from last season based on how we play and how we keep grinding out wins. I think there has been there has been very sensible conversations on how Arteta has changed our style of play. It's not as champagne football as it once was.
Hello, Niall Kane. Welcome in.
But yeah, Niall Kane, hello, good to see you. It is a big game. We were talking about it.
Big game, marvellous.
I think we will get a 1-0 to the Arsenal tomorrow. I think we will. I think it will be very George Graham-esque. I do.
Nice.
I just maybe 2-0, maybe a cheeky 2-0. I don't know, but
fair enough. Do you know what? I take it. I'm sure everybody in the chat would take a 1-0 or a 2-0 as long as Arsenal win, guys. That's what it's all about. As regards the Brentford game and everything like that, I think we've probably spoken as much as we're probably going to do so on that.
Just want to answer the question. I want to answer some of these things in the chat. AFC always has said. Ivan Toney is told a close friend that he wants to join Arsenal. Well, I've heard, we were going to touch on this actually after we talked about the Brentford game. Apparently it might not happen, but we'll discuss that later on.
Do it now, mate. Do it now because it's in the chat, but do it now.
Okay. So there has been now reports that the Ivan Toney deal might not happen, but there have been reports of us potentially now resubmitting our entry for Dusan Vlahovic from Juventus.
Yeah.
I like Vlahovic. I think when he was linked in 2022 to us, I thought he'd be a decent player. Whether we get him or not, it remains to be seen. But you said don't get too excited about January.
And I stick by it. It because
I think
had we been in a position to do more business, I think we would have probably concluded the Raya deal in the summer. I know there's more to add on the Raya thing. I'm going to probably get to that probably next point, perhaps. But yeah, honestly, couple of things on this one. Brentford are pretty clear that they're not going to let him go. I don't know where the talk of, and I've seen it on a lot of the platforms, right? I've seen a lot of the platforms saying, "Oh yeah, Brentford are gonna let him go on the cheap" and all that. I've never heard such a load of old rubbish in my life, frankly, because ultimately he's a rare commodity in the game. He knows, despite everything that's gone on, despite all the difficulties with the betting and stuff, which I'm sure he's being looked after by the good people at Brentford as well. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna want to let their star guy go A, for the cheap, and B, why would they? It's like why would Aston Villa?
It's like us letting Saliba or Rice go on the cheap.
Or it's like, would Aston Villa, for example, this is a name that's been mentioned as well, let Watkins go? They're not going to. No. This is the thing. I think maybe we need to realise how blessed we are, and I'm sort of going into my gimmick a little bit here, and that we have someone like Eddie Nketiah in our squad. You can take the mickey out of me as well, because I can take it. I've got broad shoulders, right? And I'm there to take it from you. But in all seriousness, right, at least he's a guy who's played lots of Premier League games. We have him in our ranks, and he's there, and he's on a new contract. We have no issues of him going. That ain't going to happen. Certainly not in the January window, that's for sure. Vlahovic is a hit and miss for me. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I watched Mr. Lucas' stream, when was it, a couple of nights ago, and he was saying, he doesn't dislike him. I think his words were close to that, but he's not prolific.
Okay,
that's that. In terms of conversion of it's that difficult thing that the top strikers have, is actually putting the ball in the net. And there's lots of people who have that difficulty, right? Like Nketiah does too. Yeah. So you've got Nketiah in that place there. How's it difficult? I wouldn't say Jesus is prolific, frankly. Do you know what I mean?
I think
wouldn't say he's an outright number 9.
And more recently, apart from Erling Haaland, when you see world-class strikers or good strikers go on the move to big Premier League clubs for a big price, apart from Erling Haaland, obviously, they haven't done a decent job. Look at Rasmus Højlund for Man United. He scored a couple in the Champions League, but he's not taken them anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. But with Rasmus, and I'm going to give him the same treatment, the same wording that I have said. I've gone 44 minutes without saying this guy's name, my friend. I'm going to say the same thing about Rasmus that I have been saying for quite a lot of this season about your favourite German.
Him, 29.
Yeah. Give him time to settle, and I'm sure he will find the net more consistently. That's a genuine feeling.
Rasmus Højlund hasn't had 3 years at another Premier League club though, and performed by the same way as he did.
And Rasmus has also scored a few goals in the Champions League, and for United's failings, and obviously a 4-4 draw and all this sort. There was a few dodgy sort of results. I believe they did. Get Copenhagen sort of rings a bell. The difficult thing, he actually has put the ball in the net a few times, and he's only going to get better. Are they similar sort of age? I think they might be.
He's young, I think.
Yeah,
as far as I remember.
I don't think Havertz is sort of that old. I think he's only about 24. That's why I still think he does
Okay.
have
Yeah, I
a
think
bit.
he's around that age.
I think it
But
has
yeah,
still got that potential. And look, I'm very, 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 very aware, especially from the gentleman to my left on the screen here, that look, he might not be everybody's cup of tea. I understand this, and yeah, I do
Havertz
try.
for me, both.
I mean, Havertz isn't everybody's cup of tea. Posh, you're always my cup of tea.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, but
AFC all no, go on.
but you know, I still think the pair of them are a great comparison. Good to put the two of them together. Actually, be interesting to see what the work they do and all that sort of stuff. And no, I'm not talking about that word that you keep on bringing up on our screens, which I have never spoken about in my life, and I don't even know what it means. That
What,
field
field
tilt.
tilt?
I don't have
I
a
don't know
clue
what it
what you're
means
talking
either, but I
about.
hear lots of like Arsenal fans on Twitter saying, "Oh, look at the field tilt we've had," and get all these
You're the
Microsoft
only
Excel
person I've heard
spreadsheets
talk
out.
about it.
I don't know. I don't know why they talk. I don't know. It's I don't know. Just enjoy the football. That's what I think. Arteta never gave Balogun a chance for me. That was a bad mistake selling him. I do agree with that. I think he should have been given more of a chance in the league because he's proven what he could do with Monaco. And I always compared him to how Saliba did in the French league and how that got him to the next level. Yeah. Who knows what could happen with Balogun?
I always felt though, I remember saying it on Cannon Chatter as well. Sorry for bringing them up again. I know I'm covering old ground, right? I always had this gut feeling that he would never make it at Arsenal, and I, you know, he proved right. I'm afraid. I hope Flo goes on and beats goal records everywhere and does brilliant for the States as well, because he's a good lad. He seems like he's got a good level head on him, and goes and proves the Arsenal hierarchy wrong. That's what I want to see on that. There's a question above that comment which I need to ask you, because I can't watch it. I'm not around.
I don't think I'll be doing it. But I'm sure there'll be other Arsenal fans doing watch-alongs of the game. So
probably Mr. Arsenal podcast is probably the one to go for it. We're not doing it, frankly. He's a good guy. What we are going to be doing, I'm super excited about this. I'll announce it now, shall I? I'll announce our big moment and our big thing to go for on Monday night. For the first time ever on our channel, we are going to be going live in conjunction with Soph from Guna Gossip TV, isn't it?
Gossip TV.
That's right. And Soph has kindly agreed to host it alongside me. Bertie will be with us as well. We'll be reviewing the Brentford game. It'll be a different sort of vibe from our normal review. We've been wanting to coexist a little bit for a little while. And so we'll be live at 7:00 on Monday for that one. So make sure you're hitting that bell icon. It's just about there. So make sure you press that button so you know when we go live, and make sure I will put Soph's channel in the description as well, just so you know where to find her for that as well. We'll be here as well. We'll be on Guna Gathering as well.
It's a simulcast. It's like Raw and Nitro in 2001 or whatever it was.
The name on the contract does say Guna Gossip TV.
It says Guna, but not Guna Gathering. Oh no, it will be on our channel.
Yeah, as long as yours truly can figure out the right buttons to press. If not, I'll share it on the community tab. So one way or another, you'll be able to see it. Okay, and I want you all to be really nice to Soph as well, because she's a great girl and she really knows what she's doing. So look forward to that next week.
Described as one of the most positive Arsenal fans out there. So if we lose, I've got to be as level-headed as I possibly can. So that'll be interesting to watch.
But we're not going to lose, Posh. We're going to win.
Not. As I said, 2-0 is my prediction. And AFC Always is going for Brentford 1, Arsenal 3. Come on.
Like that.
I hope that happens as well. Be nice to get a clean sheet, though.
Absolutely. So I think moving away from that, we've done the plug for Monday.
Okay. Just one more comment though that AFC always has said. 29, Vieira and Jorginho cost £112 million. Jesus, what a waste of money. We can't blame the Cronkies. It's all on Arteta and Edu. Yeah, we could have got better players than them, I suppose. You know my feelings on 29 and how better players we could have got. I'm not going to go into all of that because I hoped we'd have a video not talking about him for a change.
Yeah.
But look, okay, it
is what it is. We can't buy people that are at other clubs. I know exactly the man that you're thinking of. He might wear a white shirt these days. He's also in the first aid room, and he's not likely to come out for a little while. So, and that might be the reason Arsenal didn't sign James Maddison. But that is all in the past. That we can't do anything about, right? What we will do is focus on what we can talk about, and I like more often than not on this channel to talk factual as opposed to the rumor, if you like, in terms of the transfer stuff. Anyway, so shall we bring it along?
If he does that, no. Anytime he's played at left back, Germany have lost. So
this is true.
It will not be very wunderbar at all if he plays him at inverted left back.
I mean, look, I think we're going to go. We'll go through this again. Tomiyasu at right back. I'm sure Zinchenko will keep his place. There's no reason why we wouldn't do so. If Ben White's injured and can't make the squad, I can't see us in an away game putting one of the youngsters, or even Kai at left back. I can't see that happening, guys. Sorry, but
no, I agree with you. Actually, I think it will probably be if Ben White isn't fit enough to start, it'll be Tomiyasu right back and Zinchenko at left back. I think. Yeah,
I would think away from home though, he'll probably have to be a little bit more disciplined than maybe if he was playing at the Emirates. That's my concern. That's my worry. So we will see. We will see tomorrow. Let's bring it away from Brentford game for a minute because there's a couple of other points I have got written down.
Yeah.
Despite the fact I'm not in the number one spot.
Hey, we're a team. We share ideas together. That's what it's all about.
For life.
For life, yes.
So
Goons for life. All right, go on.
The Goon World Order. Right.
Hey.
Anyway, before we lose everybody, bit of news that has come out within probably the last hour and a half. If you're not familiar, if you've not been keeping tab, and if you haven't, why haven't you? Of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, it used to be like the EFL Trophy, right? Arsenal under-21 team are involved in that. They were tonight drawn away to Peterborough in that competition in the round of 32 in the southern section. So that's just something to add to our calendar and just keeping a little bit of half an eye on.
Yes.
Always interesting to see how our youngsters play and develop. Who knows where, getting a bit of publicity in a competition like this. That's what this is here for, giving some young players a bit of publicity, certainly on our side of things.
Against Peterborough as well. You would think, being called Posh Bertie, I'd be supporting the posh Peterborough, but that isn't the case.
No,
but yeah.
No, sir.
But no.
Moving on from that one, and I don't know how much you might have or might not have seen of this one. I'll be honest, I had to sort of do a little bit of research myself before I came on air for this evening. Last night in the ladies' game,
the
Southampton against Arsenal in the Continental Cup, or Conti Cup as it is known. Arsenal with a bit of a changed 11 went up to Southampton. It was at St Mary's, and it was also a record crowd for the ladies' game over at St Mary's. So fair play and great effort to all the Saints fans that were up there last night. Had the potential to be a really tricky game, and especially when in second half, early in the second half, Southampton went ahead. Molly Pike from a shot from outside the penalty area went over D'Angelo's head, made it 1-0 to Southampton. I'm going to sort of briefly summarise this. Arsenal really did a great job in responding really quickly on it. Steph Catley playing left back, found Caton forward. Then in that play, Lisa Hurting, sort of through pass was sort of deflected off Kindle, found Frida Marnon continuing her goal scoring efforts from the last game in the WSL. Left footed shot went in the near post, and right at the last, in the 91st minute, Arsenal clinched this win. Corner came in from the left hand side, and I know I wrote the name down. Elstedt, the new centre half, scores her first goal for Arsenal. Wins in that competition, puts us second place in our group. That's Group D. On goal difference, we are just behind Tottenham Hotspur, and our next game in that competition is against Spurs on the 13th of December.
We don't want to be behind Tottenham. We want to be above that lot, don't we?
Absolutely, but it's going to be a really interesting one. Arsenal defending champions in this competition.
Yeah, can we retain? Can we retain the title?
I really hope so. Probably our best chance of getting something in the ladies' game. Or despite that, saying that, I'll say that there's still a few hours to go into this if you haven't already looked at it. If any of you are interested, there's a Black Friday event going on Arsenal.com right at this minute. If you haven't seen it, it's for the tickets for the Arsenal against Chelsea game at the Emirates in December. I think it was something like the 10th. I can't remember the date off the top of my head. I think I'm about right.
Around that time, I think.
There's 20% off the tickets. I've been trying to get my Gooner Gathering team to come up with, but unfortunately, I think we're otherwise engaged.
They're very ambitious. If it was at Meadow Park, I might have. Is that where they usually play? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, just off the M11. Yeah.
If it was at Meadow Park, I would have said yes. But I think even though I'm due a visit back to the Emirates, I think
me too,
it was very ambitious of you. Thank you for the offer of inviting me, but I don't think I'll be able to do it, especially. We usually got to see the family and everything, and they run up to Christmas and things. So I'll be a busy boy.
Absolutely. But anyone, especially if you're close to the Emirates and you haven't been up there, definitely take in the atmosphere. Definitely support the ladies. 3 points behind Chelsea at the moment. Chelsea at the top of the table. Arsenal in second. They need to hear some vocal support. So let's give them that if you can, guys. So, yeah, that was the end of my notes for the stream, sir. How was that?
I think that's let me have a look at my notes. That's I think that is the end. That is the end of mine. Then it's good to see club football back. No international break until March, so we don't have to watch Southgate ball for another 4 months. Isn't that bliss? But yeah, I think that will do it. You can follow me on Twitter at Posh Bertie and Instagram at Bertie Wanless. Mr. Meadows, where can they find you?
They can find me at Gooner Lee Meads. They can find all of us at Gooner Gathering on X. Check out the TikTok channel as well, which is always a lot of fun to upload the little clips to. I haven't done that in a little while, but there's some very funny clips up there now. Make sure you see the shorts on the YouTube channel as well. Did a little bit of editing on the streams that we did earlier in the week. Put that up on the channel yesterday. So make sure you support us on there. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button as we head towards 250 subscribers on our lovely family-friendly channel. Last comment of the day potentially will be AFC always saying, I really do miss Highbury. That felt like home. Rather than what the Emirates Stadium does. I spoke a little bit about that on Uncle Roger's channel a couple of days ago. So go back, watch that stream. That was a lot of fun to do.
And
So
I always said, I do wish I was born 10 or 20 years earlier so I could go to a game at Highbury. I've been to the Emirates before, but I'm sure it's nothing in comparison to what Highbury was like. So, you know.
we could probably talk about that another time, perhaps. But from the pair of us, from all of us at Gooner Gathering for this evening, enjoy the weekend. Let's enjoy the Premier League being back. Let's see Arsenal coming to Brentford Stadium and picking up 3 points away from home. Have a great weekend, everybody. Make sure you tune in to us on Monday at 7 o'clock with Soph for the review. So until we see you then, take care of yourselves.
Yeah. Can I do the? I'm the host. I got to close the show, mate. I'm one hosting it. Yes. Catch us on Gooner Gossip TV on Monday. And until then, let's hope the bees are the ones that get stung. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.